in the silver. And we've got a yellow in the back in turn number 2, and that's Tony Kanaan, who's not only gone around, he's got damage on the parade lap.
I think he collected Marco Andretti, perhaps. I thought I saw another blue and yellow car. Maybe it's just Kanaan. And that is a disaster, not only for Kanaan, but for Scott Dixon, because he needs Tony Kanaan to mix it up with the field as we ride on board. That's a big hit. That's a game ender.
So, well, I don't know if it's a game ender, if it's just the back wing, but he's definitely going to go laps down. But like I said, the pace was coming around that corner pretty quick on the pace lap, and he was hustling to catch up. And it looked like he got some tires maybe on the curb or the white line and lost it.
We are down to 3 to go in the 2017 Verizon IndyCar Series Championship, with many still in play. Time to get it going for the last oval of the season, and here we go from Gateway.
Guys right down on the wall. Dixon was trying to slide down the wall. Newgarden goes for the lead. No, Will Power.
Power goes around, one of the championship contenders, and then up on his lid over the top is Ed Carpenter. Takuma Sato has also crashed. A major pileup as we restart in the opening moments at Gateway.
So the surface was slick for Tony Kanaan. It's slick for the rest of these guys. Will Power with a really massive mistake on the first lap.
He just lost it all on his own, cold tires.
That was a big move from Newgarden, and boy, Will Power is lucky the way Ed Carpenter backed up gearbox first on board with Newgarden. And watch this. How about this setting a championship tone? Big move around the outside. There goes Power straight around. I think he just picked up some turbulent air and chaos behind.
Yeah, Newgarden came down, took the line away from Will, cut the air off the front of the car. Not anything wrong with that move. He was completely clear of him, and it just pulled the back end of Will Power's car around.
Green, green, green.
Back to green flag racing at Gateway Motorsports Park, and look at the run for Castroneves, trying to go around the outside. Can't get Newgarden in turn 1.
No guarantee that anybody has more tire temperature now, Paul, after all those yellow laps, but luckily they make it through 1 and 2. That was critical for the field to not lose it on the restart.
Yes, 3 wide going into turn 3. Rossi slides down the inside of Hinchcliffe, but Helio Castroneves was aggressive on that restart, had a nice little start. He was forced to the outside by Newgarden, but Newgarden now has taken control, leads by half a second.
It did surprise me a little bit to see Castroneves fairly aggressive considering what has happened. He settles in now, and look at Newgarden start to scoot away just a little bit. Penske still 1, 2, 3. Tony Kanaan getting around Marco Andretti, but Tony Kanaan is 3 laps down. Keep in mind, though, he was 2 laps down mid-race at Texas and came back to finish seconds. Here's Helio going to the inside of Saavedra.
Oh. He's lucky Saavedra gave it up and gave it to him, because it looked like they were going to touch there.
And now that gives Simon Pagenaud an opportunity to close in on Castroneves. That's for second place.
But that allows Newgarden to open up a much bigger gap up front, and I can tell the way things are shaping up as we come close to our pit stops, the in and out laps are going to be critical for track. It's all about track position.
But look who's creeping into the picture back there. That blue and white car, the number 9 of Scott Dixon, as we see Carlos come in the pits.
You see Helio Castroneves making his stop and a front wing adjustment for him, but his teammate Josef Newgarden is getting ready to make his stop. The entire field is chasing him in the Verizon IndyCar Series points, as you see Scott Dixon make his stop there, putting on 4 fresh new tires for him. He said the car is feeling a little bit light, and he is also down and away. We're still waiting for Josef Newgarden to make his stop as we see him pull into his box right there. The entire field is chasing him in points. They're also chasing him on track right now as you see a quarter turn front wing. Jan?
Waiting for the arrival of Simon Pagenaud. He also is called for some front wing. And I'm looking here, he's another one that's going for sticker tires, which I think will be a little harder warm up than scrubs. And there's the front wing, Simon Pagenaud. That's 8 seconds even.
All right, let's watch the blend-in now. It looks like the leader on the track that's already pitted is Helio Castroneves. He's coming down the main straightaway as Charlie Kimball releases, and Josef Newgarden easily beats him out. So through this cycle of green flag stops, Newgarden maintains the lead, and I think he may have stretched it more.
Well, we had a pretty good mix, Townsend, of guys doing stickers or scuffs. I saw Helio Castroneves put on scuffs. All of his teammates put on stickers, but here's Tony Kanaan trying to get some laps back. He was topping up for fuel. So right now, he is only 3 laps down still.
Well, and I think you could see championships from Josef Newgarden for a long time still. You know, a young driver in his mid-20s. Come up through the junior formulas, the Mazda Road to Indy, through the Indy Lights Series. I think, Anders, you've done some wheel-to-wheel action with this guy.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was unfortunate enough to do racing against him, wheel-to-wheel in Indy Lights, and the guy was just a machine from the offset. Came over from Europe, had done some GP3 racing, then came to Indy Lights, won his very first race at the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, and we actually got to race wheel-to-wheel at Indy, but I could just tell this guy is a guy that you can respect racing side by side with, and he's just the real deal. So exactly what you guys said at the top of the show, I think Josef Newgarden is going to be with Team Penske for many, many years to come, and I think there's going to be a lot of championship players.
Well, if there's anything I could critique about tonight, he's leading comfortably. I don't really like Townsend, him dipping onto that white line in turn 1 and 2 with the crashes we've seen down there, guys getting close on that line like Kanaan. I've played it maybe a little bit safer than that, but he's in control.
I don't think he's at all concerned about what any of us think. Frankly, he's done such a great job. The only blemish this season was probably that Texas restart that he had where he went 3 wide, got caught out with the kitty litter, had a pretty spectacular shunt there. But short of that, I mean, he is just so confident, as are his teammates. His Penske teammates are so confident with this setup. They're all running basically the same setup. It's a stiff car, gives you a lot of confidence, and it's working great around here.
Tell you what, Rossi right now, when you look at Charlie Kimball, Rossi is closed in on Dixon. He's only 0.6 of a second, but this right here is our closest battle on track with Bourdais and black and green car Charlie Kimball.
We are now under yellow at Gateway Motorsports Park. Our 3rd caution of the day, and contact for J.R. Hildebrand. He appears to be okay. He's already talked with the team. The Homatro safety crew is already there. J.R. was having a pretty decent run. He was running in 10th, but he's made pretty significant contact with the wall.
We heard on his radio, he said he thought the suspension broke or the right front tire went down. It's on the exit of 3 and 4. As we get a replay now, it's an easy flat corner for these guys, and take a look here. It just went straight. Yeah, it's broke. It's sparking.
You can see the sparks.
It's so something for sure broke on that car. It's been a bad night for Ed Carpenter's team.
Yeah, and Helio Castroneves super happy with his car. They're just going to add some additional front tire pressure, and after that, adding a half a turn of front wing and be on their way. Katie?
It's been a nearly flawless day for Josef Newgarden, but he's working the front bar out on the racetrack. Let's see if he gets any adjustment, a front wing adjustment for him. Jan?
For Simon Pagenaud, they've talked on the radio saying we will make a front wing change. Did not say whether it would be up or down. It was like a little bit of a delay possibly on the right front, and they are adding front wing. There goes Castroneves, there goes Newgarden, and 3rd for Simon Pagenaud.
And once again, the number 3 Penske crew, Helio Castroneves, they got him a position there, they got him the lead. And it seems like every year at the Indy 500 pit stop competition, Paul, those guys come to play.
Well, Roger said, Elio's my guy when we met with him today. He said, hey, I could have gone with the new guy. I could pick whoever I want on the team. But he said, Elio's my guy, and I want him to win. So he's got him out front. He's been stalking Newgarden. He's been right there with him. So they definitely beat him out on the pit stop exchange.
See if Josef Newgarden has another outside move.
Nice start by Castroneves. He got a nice little jump there. Pagenaud all over the back of Josef Newgarden. He goes for the inside.
Pagenaud in the yellow car in 3rd. Newgarden in the blue and white. He jumped to the front at the start of the race, but this time he cannot get by Helio Castroneves. Castroneves retains the lead on the restart.
Newgarden was putting a nice little fade on Simon Pagenaud there, Paul.
Couple of fades going down the back straightaway all the way to the grass.
Pagenaud told me before the race, I think I need to get going now. I need to start scoring more points than my teammates. Time's running out, so it's going to get aggressive at the front as Hinchcliffe is holding off Alexander Rossi.
Will Power, who crashed in the opening corner, would be 74. Back right now, and it's starting to get racy a little bit further in the back. That's Bourdais, and a big wiggle for Sebastian Saavedra, who hangs on to it.
Here comes Marco Andretti now looking up the inside of Bourdais going into turn 3. It looks like Andretti will have the position.
Andretti made some changes. He had a long pit stop. I think they made some wing changes, adjusted the back wing on his car, so maybe he's struggling. Maybe he'll get a little bit more racy.
There's Newgarden in the blue car chasing the leader in the gold and white car. Helio Castroneves with the Shell Fuel Rewards sponsorship here today. Just one lap ago. Look at this gaggle of cars on board with Sebastian Saavedra.
And it looked like everybody was checked up on Sebastian Bourdais. I'm not sure what kind of issues he's having, or if he's just...
Looking to the outside. Outside.
And Saavedra had to go way down below the white line to avoid Bourdais.
Paul, you figure that Bourdais just kind of trying to bed himself back into oval racing, his first race back after that massive accident, or you think there's some issues there?
Well, he was running up 13, 12 before that last pit stop exchange and kind of closing in on his teammate Jones, so he was making ground, but he just fell back on those pit stops and then had a bad restart. Will Power out of the race, first corner, huge disappointment for him, but everything is settled down now. We've got a nice little race up front. Castroneves is taking the lead away from Newgarden, who looked dominant.
He led 92 laps through the first sequence of green flag pit stops. Castroneves has now led 22, and also at stake the 2 bonus points for most laps led. Newgarden has not clinched that at this moment, so that is still up for grabs.
Keeping an eye on Alexander Rossi, just like Pocono last weekend. It sure looks like in the second half of the tire stint that Rossi gets stronger. Don't know if that's car setup or it could be a combination of that and just more and more experience. Second year in the IndyCar Series, obviously won the Indy 500 as a rookie, but you can't accelerate oval racing experience. You just have to take the time to accumulate that. We've seen it with Will Power, we've seen it with Simon Pagenaud, and Jan, you know, just like a lot of us that have been in these cars before, it takes time.
Yes, it does, and of course we had that discussion, Townsend, about Alexander Rossi at Pocono. He had a shot to win that race, but the actual fuel mixture knob that they will use at the end of the race to choose what kind of setting, and they have a full go setting that they can run at the end of the race for more power, that fell off the steering wheel. He was kind of stuck in fuel save mode, couldn't show what he had, and we should keep that in mind because tonight, both Chevrolet and Honda, they do save power for the end of the race, and when they need it, they have a little more power for a short duration of time.
Newgarden is still chasing Castroneves, but Helio is running about a 1/10 of a second better each lap right now from the other leaders. There's Newgarden, he's really lost vision of Castroneves. It's nearly 3 seconds. Pagenaud gaining a little bit, and Dixon back there in 4th is within range. There's another look at the leader.
It's a big lead. 3 seconds at 195 miles an hour on the straightaway here is a big lead. It's half the front straightaway, so this is the biggest lead of the night so far.
Guess what, fellas? When they had the last test here after they repaved it, Castroneves was 6/10 faster than the closest guy. Connor Daly was second, and every driver to a man said, Castroneves is he's gonna wax us. We got no chance. He's gonna just check out, and that's exactly what he's doing.
I honestly felt like after what we saw yesterday, it was going to be between Power and Newgarden, although I still certainly gave Castroneves and Pagenaud a chance. One of those, Power, is out. All right, third round of pit stop sequence is beginning. Ryan Hunter-Reay is in, Anders.
Yeah, and Ryan Hunter-Reay just had to save a little bit of fuel on that last stop. That's why you saw him fall back from 5th to 9th, but he'll be on his way here. And Helio Castroneves pitting as well. He's super happy with the car after he went softer on the front bar. No changes to the front wing or tire pressure this time by. He's just looking for a clean stop. Jan?
We're waiting for Alexander Rossi to make his stop, and one thing we're going to do, he is one of the cars that did have some blistering. So, wait, something's wrong with Castroneves. He stalled. Wow, so while that's happening, I'm looking very closely, and there are a few small blisters on the right front of Alexander Rossi. They add a little bit of front wing, but not too much, and now they're waiting on Sunoco fuel. Alexander Rossi on sticker tires.
So 2 longer pit stops than wanted, and we won't find out until Newgarden and the others pit, but Castroneves is likely to have lost the lead there.
I would think so if they had to start it. He had a pretty healthy lead, almost 4 seconds, so we'll see where this shakes out here in the next lap or two, but going to be tight.
James Hinchcliffe exiting. Graham Rahal has made his stop. They've been racing on the track, and there's Newgarden in, Katie.
Tim Cindric just said, hey, buddy, we need to play a little bit of offense. Remember, Josef had a bad stop last time. Elio, a bad stop this time. Josef needs to be nice and quick.
Okay, this is an opportunity for Simon Pagenaud. We're watching to see where Newgarden's about halfway down. They add some front wing, and it's going to be neck and neck. But Newgarden gets him off of the pit stop.
So now the question is, where is Helio Castroneves as Newgarden and Pagenaud get back up to speed?
Well, he's not even in the picture, so he is way out of it now. Now, Dixon comes out in third place for a podium position.
And
here comes Castroneves.
He's still got a full head of steam, but I think they're going to be up to speed by the time Elio gets there. So the issue on pit lane cost Castroneves track position. Let's watch again what happened to Elio. Well, you can already see hand signal saying that the car is dead.
Yeah, he's letting his guys know the engine's died. There you see the mechanic in the back with the electric starter.
That was really odd that it stalled on its way into the pit box.
But I got to tell you, that's not much time lost. That shows you how prepared Penske is. I've lost 50 seconds in that scenario before because sometimes they struggle to get the starter in. They're not ready. But that was minimizing the damage. Castroneves now running fourth. He lost 3 spots. He's got a fast car, but that was, you know, really damaging on a green flag stop. Every millisecond's going to count for positions.
Back at Gateway near St. Louis, and we are under our 4th caution. Just a moment ago, Max Chilton made contact. Exit of turn number 4 down on the inside. He's climbed out of the car. He looks good. And then several that are at the back of the field are using this chance to top off. Let's first find out what happened to Max Chilton.
Lost it behind. He was really tucked up behind the car behind him, and it just got away from him. Townsend, the back end kicked out and hit the outside wall pretty hard.
Behind one of the Foyt cars. Probably trying to get a run, trying to stay flat through 3 and 4.
Pagenaud in second in that bright yellow car. The leader is Josef Newgarden. Watch Scott Dixon in third. Castroneves is in fourth. Back to green in Gateway. Racing on the final oval of 2017. Pagenaud looks to the inside. Nothing there. Dixon can't find a way around. Castroneves, Hinchcliffe, Rahal. They come through and they're side by side in the back. And somebody looked like they almost got sideways.
Alexander Rossi with a bold move on Hunter Ray.
Dixon, big run. Oh, he gets chopped. He had a look at the steering wheel on Scott Dixon. He's loose, but he had a big run coming off it too. He's got another one right now. He got the fade job. He's going to have to go the long way.
Pagenaud defends, and that will get the job done. We saw Newgarden do that to do that to perfection on Newgarden.
And now Castroneves.
He just got checked up by in the middle of the corner. Castroneves has a run. This is going to be tight here, and he goes through. Daly will get a run coming off the corner. He got checked up. Daly is right there. Big block. That will definitely get looked at by the chief steward. So that was a huge defensive maneuver on the back straightaway.
That did not appear to me to be done first. Was that? I want to see this again before I really comment. But that seemed to be
Connor Daly moves. 50-50. You could make an argument that Kimball was just going right as Daly was going, but I think Kimball knew exactly when Daly was going to pop.
How did he get away with that? Reactionary blocking. What an idiot!
I think the Irish,
Connor Daly, by the way,
the Irish American just got very Irish.
Oh, look at this! Pagenaud coming back now. So Pagenaud's car's come some changes to the wing, and he's coming alive. Struggling there, he touched the curb, got a little loose. But he was struggling on cold tires, but as the tires are wearing now, he's getting better. I was wondering if something was going to be under review. You've got a little note in your hand?
Well, it was reviewed, the action between, or the on-track incident between the 83. There we see Charlie Kimball and Connor Daly. No action will be taken. They did take a look at it. And by the way, Charlie Kimball also just set the fastest lap of the race at just over 182 miles per hour.
Well, he's got Daly breathing down his neck again. Yeah. So Daly's got a quick car. If he's turned the fastest lap, look at this. He's side by side down the back straightaway on the outside this time. And Charlie starts coming back the other way on him here.
That's a double fade on Connor Daly. I'm pretty sure Connor Daly, that's a red mist behind the visor there. He's going to be absolutely furious and desperate to put the move back on Charlie Kimball.
You saw it on nonstop. 5th caution of the night at Gateway Motorsports Park, and it's for former champion and Indianapolis 500 winner Ryan Hunter-Reay. Brushed the wall.
Bent suspension in the rear. The mechanic is waving no go, no go. They need a toe link in the back. You see here, coming off the corner, he's up high and just looked like he missed the apex and brushed the wall. But there was a big pass in the background.
Yeah, Charlie Kimball.
By Charlie.
Shoved it under, but this was Ryan Hunter-Reay on the back straightaway. And, you know, that's
a big hit, but just enough to bend the suspension.
Like you said, they might be able to fix the toe link there. And he's backing away, I think, to stay on maybe the lead lap. They're probably going to try to catch back up to the field, pit again, and work on the car some more.
Penske's coming in 1, 2, 3. And Newgarden is the championship leader.
You see him racing on the apron. Newgarden got after it behind the pace car. Look at the gap he put on Simon Pagenaud. That could pay off. Big lockup.
And Helio Castroneves feels like he's got a winning car. He just wants his track position back. Forgot to release the neutral button on the last stop. He's not going to make that mistake again. Katie?
Tim Cindric just motioned to the team in front of Josef to make sure that Josef has a clean out, because this has to be a clean stop for him. He's already down and away, Jan.
And this could be a championship pit stop for all 3 Penske cars. We see the other 2 are rolling. Are they going to beat out Simon Pagenaud? And maybe not. Looks like Simon Pagenaud might have it.
So close. Pagenaud just barely in front of Josef Newgarden. Scott Dixon gets a spot up to 3rd. Then it's Helio Castroneves in 4th. Championship points in play. Many of the contenders up front. Back to green at Gateway. It's Pagenaud, Newgarden, teammates together on the outside. They will not make contact. Good hard racing between the Penske drivers, and Pagenaud stays in front.
Rossi making a move on Connor Daly, who's moved up a couple spots. He's gotten around the guy he was fighting with. Look at that, around the outside goes Connor Daly, so he's moved up really nicely into 5th place after the pit stops.
Nice brave move for Connor Daly as Castroneves is working Scott Dixon to the high side in turn 1.
Tries the outside, can't do it there. Dixon hangs on to 3rd place. Castroneves runs in 4th. And behind him, what a run this is for Connor Daly. Would be the best result. He's in 5th that either of the Foyt cars have had all season.
He's right there behind Castroneves, breathing down his neck now, so he is on the move right now.
And up front, Josef Newgarden is right behind Simon Pagenaud.
Get the sense that Josef Newgarden knows that to win this race, he might have to make his move right now. While the tires are still fresh, he's got enough grip. Simon Pagenaud told us before the race, I think this is when I need to start going. This is the part of the championship. I need to outscore my teammates if I have a chance of taking my 2nd title on the trot.
Pagenaud has been in the top 5, 11 of 14 races, but just the 1 win. He needs to score the 50 points here tonight. Josef Newgarden can take, I wouldn't say a stranglehold on the championship, but another win is going to move him that much closer.
Connor Daly right now 5th. If he finishes in the top 5, that would be like a win for him this season. It's been such a horrible season. He's been so demoralized. I spoke to his dad just before the race, and he said he was really frustrated with how qualifying went, that they missed on the setup again, but this would be almost like winning the race for him.
Dixon has fallen back a little bit in 3rd position, but has been able to keep Castroneves behind him.
He's got to run.
Pagenaud will try to defend on the low
line. Whoa, he's stuffing it in. Oh my God. Pagenaud way up high.
The 2 Penske drivers touch, and Josef Newgarden goes back to the front to the inside of Simon Pagenaud.
And look at Dixon. Dixon's going to take over 2nd now.
What a swing potentially in the championship. Pagenaud in front has dropped to 3rd. Dixon is now in 2nd behind Newgarden.
I talked about it before the race. There's been a lot of strategic Penske driving. When are the gloves going to come off? It's happening tonight. This is fight night.
Apropos, fight night at Gateway, and Josef Newgarden has carved his way back to the front. Let's see this again between the 2 Penske teammates.
He left him virtually no room, and he just said, I'm coming through. Gave him a hip check. He's lucky he didn't crash. And then Dixon seizes the opportunity and moves into 2nd place. Townsend, you said it was going to be a 1 through 4 Penske domination.
Well, let's see what happens. But right there, It's one Penske dominating on a move like that. Josef Newgarden is just signaling to not only his teammates, but the rest of the field, this is my championship. Forget about it. I'm grabbing the bull by the horns.
And that would be a swing, I think, of about 13 points from that move. I think I saw he would have been 18 points in front as they run. Right now, he would be 31 in front of Scott Dixon. Within Castroneves, 42 back, and Pagenaud back to 43 behind.
Simon left virtually no room, but there was enough room for him to really push that car down the inside, and he said, I'm taking it. But look at Pagenaud's coming back. Oh, which way are you going to go? Left, right, left, right.
Pagenaud, I think, now realizes, whoa, that was a move I wasn't expecting from my teammate. I'm sure as Pagenaud blocked up the inside, he was looking in his mirror thinking, he's not going to go for it. There's no way he's going to go for it.
Connor Daly's still right there on the back of the Penske, so great night for him.
Now, what can Pagenaud and Castroneves do? We think they're a little bit quicker than Scott Dixon. They've shown it all weekend, but it's a whole different thing getting by.
Well, we've shown now you're not going to go around the outside of turn one unless you've really got a huge head of steam like Newgarden had on the initial start with power. So you've really got to hope the door is open and really just stuff it down the inside in turn one if you're going to make a pass.
There's Newgarden, the lead. A bit of a gap on Scott Dixon in second. The yellow car is Simon Pagenaud in third, trying to get back to the front after Newgarden just took the lead. There's Castroneves in the golden white car in fourth, and Connor Daly is still within range. Alexander Rossi is back in sixth. Josef Newgarden is the man right now. This would also be the fifth straight win for Team Penske this season.
Newgarden said he wanted to get an oval win for this team. That was on the bucket list, winning on the road courses, winning at the tracks he's won before, but he wanted to get an oval win for the team this year, and it looks like he's going to get that tonight.
This looks to me like the gap is closing just a little bit. Dixon and Pagenaud. Pagenaud, the last few laps, is just ever so slightly inched up. If he can stay close here through turn one, he might have a shot. He wiggles there in the middle of 1 and 2. You see Pagenaud trying to do everything he can and just loosens up the car a bit on the white line.
Castroneves is now closed back up to Pagenaud. Daly is backed off a little bit, maybe looking at trying to get a last lap run at him.
Pagenaud has to be careful. If he tries too hard on Dixon and makes too much of a bobble in dirty air, then Castroneves will be all over him.
Well, then, and also if he tries to get down the inside of him and gets the door shut on him, he could lose these two positions that are behind him. If he gets checked up in the middle of the corner.
Coming towards the white flag. 1 lap to go for Josef Newgarden. Dixon is not within range, but looks like he might be able to hold on to second. Pagenaud is several car lengths back. Castroneves in fourth position, and Daly looking for his best career result on an oval. Josef Newgarden is going to win for the 4th time in 2017. The next American superstar takes control of the championship.
Awesome, man. Awesome drive. That was our win.
And it was fight night here at Gateway Motorsports Park for Josef Newgarden and Josef, not just against the rest of the field, but more specifically, your teammates.
Yeah, it's probably appropriate with everything that's going on tonight, you know, with the McGregor and Mayweather fight, but it was an awesome race. You know, I'm so proud of the whole number 2 crew. I'm proud of Team Penske. I mean, they build the best race cars on the planet, and so it's a pleasure to be a part of the group and win again in the PPG car. You know, the first time we had them on, we won at Mid-Ohio, and seems like we got a little bit more mojo again here with having them. So I hope they enjoyed it. I hope the fans enjoyed it. We had an awesome race. I felt like it was. You know, it was a lot about strategy and fuel saving, and then a good battle with Simon at the end. So, you know, that's what we had tonight.
You are now the only 4-time winner in the Verizon IndyCar Series for 2017. What kind of statement does this make to the rest of the field?
Well, it just helps on points. You know, we got to be aggressive and try and win these races. I think that's what's going to win us the championship. You know, with Simon there, I wanted to get inside of him. He gave me the lane, so I took it. You know, it's one thing if he was going to close it off, but he gave me a lane to work with, and I just tried to thread the gap at that point, and he gave me racing room, and you know, I didn't mean to touch him and push him out a little bit, but I'm happy he obviously didn't get into the wall and still finished on the the top 4 there. So that's racing. You know, we got to go racing at the end of the day.